The church has been a family to me. We've done so much life with many people in our church.
And once I see that cross in the sky, I know I'm going home. And it is a beautiful, beautiful day, the rest of the day, because of Ironwood and what it means to me.
We just love coming here to Ironwood so much, and we love just being part of such a healthy church and just being around people who care about us.
I've been coming to Ironwood Church for about 4 months. My boyfriend was trying to find a different church, and he told me he would like it if I joined him. And I love it. I love coming here every Sunday.
I feel like if we looked back a few years ago and somebody told us, yeah, you guys will be going to church, you'll have a good community, you'll want to learn about Christ and how to be more Christ-like, I probably wouldn't believe that.
It's been nice to see how many new people are coming and seeing the growth. Even though it's so big, you don't feel like a coldness or like I'm just walking alone. It feels like a small church still, and I do love that about Ironwood.
I'm being honest, the growth in the leadership, just you guys grow up as young men, families come in and just work through life and, the good and bad of that, and just be, and like you're going, hey, we're trying to figure it out and we don't have all the answers. Here's what we're doing for now, and that's cool. Like, I appreciate that honesty.
It seems like everybody at this church just want to help. And they want to help guide you, they want to help guide your kids, they want to help guide your marriage, they want to help guide every facet that will help you on earth and far and perfectly beyond it.
Hey gang, hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. I just wanted to share with you today the thing that I'm chewing on. It's from Psalm 73. It's verses 25 and 26. It says, "Whom have I in heaven but you?"
So our church launched in January of 2009, and originally we were called Second Mile Church. We were a church plant out of East Valley Bible Church, and I was 29 years old, leading a team of about 50 people who really just wanted to see God glorified and a church started in the Southeast Valley. Most of those folks were part of East Valley Bible.
I remember meeting at East Valley Bible Church first. Even before we had our first service, we would get together and just have prayer meetings. And the people that were interested in, being part of the launch team or the planting team would come, and we would pray and just hear Luke's vision about, what this church is about.
So we were attending East Valley Bible Church in Gilbert. We had been there for quite a while. We went there. We started going there. I think I remember Luke getting in front. Hey, we're planting this church in kind of the Southeast Valley, Queen Creek area. I think it was probably 6 months after you guys had planned roughly that we said, all right, maybe we should be closer and probably get involved in the community, and decided to come.
So when the church launched in January of 2009, we were meeting at ASU Polytechnic, and we were only there for a few months. After not very long, we outgrew that space, and that spring, just before Easter, we moved into Perry High School. And Perry was a little further west than we wanted to be, but it was a place where we could do church on Sunday morning, big auditorium, a lot of room to grow. Some weeks in those early weeks of being at Perry, it was a little like, is anyone coming? Because it kind of felt a little empty.
At Perry, I remembered walking a long distance from the cafeteria where the Sunday school classes were to the auditorium where we worshiped. And that was, especially in the summertime, that was a pretty long walk. But I remember Luke saying how fitting it was that our church name was called Second Mile, because it felt like we were walking 2 miles from the cafeteria to the worship service. But I thought it was great because in the beginning, there were a lot of empty seats. I mean, Perry Auditorium is pretty big, and there were a lot of empty seats in the beginning. But then as we grew, all these seats started to get filled. And I was super excited to see all the people showing up and coming to worship with us.
But little by little, the church kept growing. Folks invited friends. More people started coming. And after a couple years in that space, we realized, you know what? This is great, and set up and tear down is working. But we actually need to really think about, is there a place that we could land in that would be a full-time space for us to be able to do ministry? And so that's what led us back over to Pecos.
Hey everybody, I'm standing here inside the new full-time facility.
I remember as we were getting ready to launch the church, a friend of mine asked, hey, if you could just pick any area where you would want the church to someday be, where would you pick? And I remember saying, Ellsworth and Pecos. That's where I would most want to be. And so when an opportunity to get some space full-time opened up at basically Ellsworth and Pecos, it was like, wow, this is pretty exciting.
I think how excited we were to go to the first structure next door and just have offices and a place for everybody to meet and to go to the box.
It was a totally different feel for me because we came from EVBC, which had a bigger campus and it had more people. And coming into the box that first Sunday, it felt like I was coming home because there was this small environment and people seemed to know each other, and it was just easy. It just felt easy to come in. I never felt like a stranger when I came in.
We were in that building next door for about 8 years. And during that stretch, we were Redemption Gateway, right? That's when this vision of trying to be a multiplying church, pooling resources together to become Redemption Church took shape. And those were really sweet years. And I think one of the things that our church just became known for was the warmth and the friendliness, the chance that if you showed up for the first time, there was a good chance someone was going to talk to you and engage with you in a friendly way. And I think that has remained to this day. After not very long in that leased space next door, we started to realize, okay, this is great, but it would actually be strategic if down the road the church could actually own some property. So we started looking for land and explored a bunch of stuff in this Pecos and Ellsworth area. And fortunately enough, God opened a door for us to be able to buy 10.5 acres right next door to the space where we were meeting, the space that we're in now. And when we bought this land, it felt very much to our family, and I think to a lot of people in the church, like, okay, we're here to stay. We're putting down roots. We want to be a gospel outpost, not just for this moment, but for generations to come. And that was a pivotal season in my life and in my family's life and in our church. Well, a couple years ago, we had another big shift as we realized that the Redemption Church multi-congregational experience that we had been part of and helped build and contribute to and really had received such blessing from, we realized we were starting to reach the limits of that structure. And what we'd said back, when I was leading Second Mile and we were coming together, we said, hey, we want to do this for the sake of the mission of making disciples. And unfortunately, it just had started to seem like we were spending so much time and energy on the structure of the organization that we weren't able to focus as much on the mission of disciple making. And so we made that decision in 2023 that the one church with 10 congregations would become 10 distinct churches. And that's when we decided to pivot to become Ironwood.
I don't feel alone at all on this campus. People know me by name, and I know people by name. They open up their homes for Bible study for my wife to be a part of, and my pastor will send me an email saying, I think you should look into this. A text message saying, I think you should focus on this. And both pastors, Seth and Luke, provide me opportunities to continue to grow in my faith. And we're a large church, but it doesn't feel like that.
It's been nice to see how many new people are coming and seeing the growth. And even though number-wise we are a big church, it still does feel like it's a small church. The people are all very friendly.
When we first started coming, we felt welcomed immediately. And it was all they did was smile and say, hi, we're so glad you're here. Thank you, thank you for being here. So
I was never really into church. I didn't really go to church before this. I don't even know what the Bible's about. I've never opened a Bible a day in my life. And then I came and I just fell in love. It was the craziest feeling that I've ever felt. My heart was so full.
In the grand scheme of things, our church is pretty new. I know pastors who've been at churches that are 150, 200 years old. And our church, as of right now, is about 16 years old. And so this is still a pretty new thing. But what we realize is we're not new. We're just a new expression of this very old thing called the Church of Jesus Christ. We have seen this grow into a church that is sturdy, that is strong, that is steady. A church that has made it where when we're strong, families flourish, individuals flourish. We have such a culture here of service, of others focused, of I'm gonna give away whatever I need to bless other people. I think that just so naturally fits who we are and is who we are. I think Ironwood is, obviously there's a cool history with that tree in particular on our campus, but I think what it represents is who we are. We are rooted, we're strong in the grace of Christ, and we're going to do whatever we need to do to try to be a blessing, not just to ourselves, but to the community around us.
My hopes for the church, whether that's 5 years or 10 years, I would hope that our church reaches the community and that more people are spreading the word and we're doing more donations and we're just really able to do more to bring in more people, whether that's in Arizona or in other states. But my biggest aim would just be to reach more people like it reached us.
People are messy, you know what I mean? And that, me too. If you think you're not messy, you're probably the most messy. But people are messy, but I think God would want us to get in the mess. And that is easy to sit here in this chair in the AC and say that, and it's a whole nother thing when it's time to do it.
The church needs to be here in 20 years, in 40 years, when there's not a face that if I got to come back to earth that I would even recognize. But I would know that Ironwood is still here and it's doing the work of God, and that's what we need to focus on.
I just absolutely believe that there are not many things we can do that will matter 10,000 years from now. This will matter. When we started this church, we were standing on the shoulders of a generation who said they wanted to be an influence beyond this campus and beyond this generation. And that's the opportunity we now have. The life and the investment, not just of our money, but of our time and of our energy and of our love and of our heart. That is absolutely worth pouring out for the sake of Christ. Jesus is coming soon. That's what he says in Revelation over and over in the last chapter of the Bible. But until he comes, we have a job, we have a mission, we have an opportunity to be an influence for his kingdom, to serve him, to honor him, to love him, and to make him known until he comes again.